that it is deeply, deeply important, especially in these times, for women to have space to be as fierce as they possibly can. And I spent 20 summers there on that land. I'm an arachnophobe. I'm an urban person. And I came back even after finding a tarantula in my tent. And that was because sometimes you don't know what you're carrying until you put it down. And when we went there to that magical place, we got to put some stuff down. And we decided we want, I'm literally having a hot flash, just so you know. Okay, but one of the things that taught us is not to be afraid of aging. But there are a lot of things that we learned just by being there, and we want that to be there for women and girls in perpetuity. And so tonight, an array of amazing, amazing performers who are all doing this from the goodness of their heart are going to play music for you. And some of it is going to harken back to women's music in the 70s, but reinvented for today, because that's what we're doing with this land. And I hope that you will support us going forward. We're asking women to apply to have events there. As long as they serve the strength and empowerment of women and girls, you are welcome to be there. So please go to our website, WWTLC. What am I doing? Oh God, I'm making things up. WWTLC, yes, is that right? We want the land coalition.org. Check us out. Sign up for our mailing list. Donate. Do all the good things. And I hope you have an amazing time. Thank you for coming out tonight. It is such an honor. I want to thank Katie Doran, our amazing stage manager, for all that she's done today. And I want to thank all of the performers who are going to see tonight. It means the world to me. I asked you all to do this, and you all showed up with love and sweetness and everything. So thank you, and I'm so looking forward. Thank you all for supporting this organization. If you have any questions, come talk to me. Have a great night. Sorry. And I'd like to introduce Shelley, Nicole.
Greetings.
Hello.
I know there's folks that are like by the bar and like we're, reconnecting and hugging and kissing and all those good things. And that's awesome. But I'm going to ask if you are by the bar to be respectful of whoever comes up to the mic to perform and lower your voices and all those good things and be respectful. So hi. This is exciting. My goodness. Yeah, look at everybody.
Take it in. Take it to look.
I am. So, it's funny when Karen asked me, she said I was the first person that she asked to come and be a part of this. And I think in that email or something, she called me a newbie, to the fest. Which I thought was really interesting, but I only went 9 of the 40 years. So technically, I'm like a neo, right? I'm a festive virgin in some weird way. But she said I was the first. She was the first person. I was the first person she asked, and I was the first person to say yes. And honestly, there was no other answer. I mean, that was the truth of the matter. There was no other answer but yes to this. And I'm so excited and grateful for all the women that donated, that stepped up and made it possible to purchase that land. There's so much in that soil. So much, like we all know. And those of us who didn't get a chance, because I know everybody that's here is not somebody that went to the festival, so I don't want to pretend like everybody knows exactly what all the inside jokes are. There's clearly a lot of blood there. Clearly. There's a lot of tears there. As Karen said, you don't know what you're carrying until you put things down. A lot of things were put down in that soil. A lot of love there. A lot of relationships were born and died there. a lot of finding of self, like, you know, really getting to understand who you are. Yeah, I could tell stories and stories, but I won't. We don't have a lot of time. But I'm just thankful and grateful and honored that Karen asked me to be here and to host. So I'm going to jump it off. Considering the state of the world right now, I think this first song is appropriate. Oh, and you guys can sing along. The hook is, stop playing politics with my punani. So when it comes up, you know, it's lively, it's jovial. You can just jump right in. I'm gonna point, and you can hear it one time, and then once it's in, you're in. You gotta get it, all right. And even if you love punani, you don't have one of your own, you can still sing. Starts with the chorus. Here we go. Stop playing politics with my punani. Stop playing politics with my punani. Hey, 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 Republicans. I see you called on your fellow man. All dicks and no nuts. And you rush to call me a slut. I'm standing up for what is mine. Call me the rib, but I'm really the spine of this whole great nation. Ain't gonna put me back on the plantation. No! Stop playing politics with my punani. Stop playing politics with my punani. Don't see me out here trying to legislate. Where you think it, Johnson? No, I have a case. Using it for some ill shit. Then you call some legitimate say what? Not a hotbed for breeding. It's something that you can put your seed in. I know it feels nice when you give me the juice, but you can't dictate how I reproduce. Oh hell no! Stop playing politics with my punani. Stop playing politics with my punani. You say abortion is a license to kill. Say right to life, wanna ban the pill. But got no problem with lethal injection. But hey, hey, hold up, ain't that killing? I'm not just here for your games and fun. Hey yo, back up off my nana son. As if I don't have a right mind. I decide what to do with mine. Come on, drummer. And we're coming back. Come on. I'm playing politics, all in all, it's just bullshit. So from my telephone, the back of my neck, God only knows what I have to wear. You wanna be a little frustrated, but then you turn it out disgusted. Nothing like all the time, right mind. I decide what to do with mine. 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 Stop playing politics with my punani. You know what I'm saying? I was up in the area trying to act like man know what's up. Anyway, we're gonna keep it going. Coming to the stage. Ah, yes. Brooklyn! Coming to the stage. R. Erica Doyle is a Brooklyn-born writer of Trinidadian descent. Her first book is called Proxy. It's out now, get that. Support, support. And she first set foot on the land in 1992. Yeah, man. Erica, where you at, man?
Oh my gosh. Speaking of punani, I'm going to read a little excerpt from my book, and I'm basically reading the punani part. Great. You are a third-generation beast in a first-generation world of open legs. You were 6 when you read your mother's Marquis de Sade. It explains so much about things in the house. Kama Sutra at 7, but you remained unimpressed. Likewise at 8, by the flaccid illustrations and the joy of sex. However, the paintings of shoji at 9, the kimonos parted over thick white penises, the arc of them shining into pleated vulvas. You fuck artfully, are disappointed by graceless fumblings. You give them one more chance, just to placate your horrified friends, to say, I fucked her twice. Avoid the one-night stand hisses. Not that the PR helps your reputation or your sex life. Some things do not improve with time. You hold back enough to keep them curious. Women like that. You are wounded enough to be salvageable. Women like that too. Fixing things. Taking in the broken wing you drag like a decoy. You are not generous. One sits on your cock while you think about her boyfriend. You are perfect. One cries from her urethra while you suck her clit. You are dangerous. One's anus spirals out around your finger. You are born. When you can't fuck, hunger makes you walk the streets alone and weep. If the moon is full, your womb is an aching crater. The doctor says your hormones are fucked up. She wants you to take the pill to stabilize them. They make you feel pregnant and bitter, and you won't stop smoking. You quit taking them, though it means you will get cancer. The eggs struggle against the membrane and wait to be let out, die and decay there, festering cysts. On the sonogram, your ovaries like asteroids against the tulips of your fallopian tubes. When you can't fuck, you write about not fucking. You plan the next escapade, have dreams where you hook up with blue-eyed Australian men, masturbate several times a day, and get no work done. Your friends say that this is good for you, that you need to stop fucking so much, that if you do it less, you will think about it less. They're lying as usual. You think they're jealous of how you feed, how they repress their own gluttony. You think of sins, of church, of priests, of how the hood of the clitoris is like the nave of a cathedral. You are not penitent. When you haven't fucked for long enough, you make bad fuck judgments. You fuck a lawyer who has never fucked a woman before. Women are so kind, says the Virgin. Women are sensitive and caring. Her hope is a virus. You say nothing. She makes good rum cake and wants to watch TV. You fuck her tiny cunt with 3 fingers while you patiently suck her clit. You are unceremonious. You disabuse. You fuck your best friend the night before your father's funeral. You fuck your ex's best friend the week before you get back together with your ex. You fall in love. You fall in love with a star in a different constellation, city, state, relationship. Her lovers have good credit and dark hair. She meets you in the back room in the crevices left unturned. You fuck her in the armchair before the fireplace when her lover is away. Pull down the laces and shove your hand into the bruised cuff. Face a quick flush of heat. Lips purple from your teeth. You blind, bind, beat. Her geography wears at your nipples. You map her in reticent bodies. Know a crystal glass by how it sings beneath your moistened fingers. You lend money. When you are not fucking, your generosity knows no bounds. When you have no more money, you share your food. When you have no more food, you give good advice. Everyone says you should be a therapist. You have been lying since you were 6. The Marquis de Sade was all about presentation. You refuse to make love. Take the consumptive tunnel and give it fuck. The edge of the tub, the arm of the sofa, your brother's rocking horse, fruit, vegetables, tongues, fists, nipples, fingers, toes, toothbrushes, bottles, candles, handles, plastic, porcelain, glass. You are not injured. You are not healing. You are taking it, lying down. Thank you.
Give Eric and Doyle some more love. So what's your book, Proxy? You gonna get that, right? Because you felt that. Get that. Support that sister. Yes. Our next contestant. I just met on Thursday Willa Mamet on the stage. Just so you know a little about Willa. Oakland, California in the house. Yeah. Singer, songwriter. She also has a duo with a lovely brother named Paul Miller, so if you're looking for her music currently, you can find that duo. And she says soon she'll have her solo situation happening. So give the love for Willa Mamet.
Thank you so much. I'm so incredibly delighted to be here among you. I never made it to the land, and I'm so... something rebloomed in my heart when I realized that someday I would be able to make it to the land because of the sisters of WWTLC. So I'm delighted to be here. Shelley, Nicole, and y'all played that first song, and I thought, oh, thank God, I don't have to follow them. But then that poem, Erica. Oh, well, you should be a little bit more careful with your words, Willa. So I do have a Punani song for you. I'm not going to start with that, though. Sorry, but you know, throw it out a little. But I will sing you this parent song. Karen asked for, what was your phrase, Karen? There was like a very particular languaging around it, because I was like, what do I do? I don't know what to do. Do this. And then I went to my sweetie and said, Karen says, do this. And I was like, she said, do this. It's great. So there's a lot of like sort of Eddie Izzard behavior. Okay. Which led to this. Talk amongst yourselves.
I thank you, your letters, though they come to me slowly. I hear the city's in a panic with its first foot of snow. I want to answer you quickly, having write to you again, 'cause it sounds like you're dancing with time's favorite friend. And it's everyone's secret, and It's all human nature. It's cold or it's hot. But if it's snowing in Brooklyn, you say it's snowing in Brooklyn. Well, if it's snowing in Brooklyn, I'd say it snows. What we've got.
Sitting at my piano in Oakland and like bleeding, like sitting at the piano, like almost kind of too bleeding to like do anything about it, but just like being with my friend to the piano. And there is a sort of esoteric Jewish idea, Kabbalist idea that we exist because the angels don't have hands. And so I was sort of thinking about, okay, well, I have these hands, perhaps axiomatically because the angels don't, and what could I then do with my hands? What would the angels have me do with my hands? And I was sort of thinking about it because I was like, wow, I'm really bleeding, like what else do the angels need me to do? Maybe they need me to bleed for them, like that could be, so I was thinking, may it be that I bleed for you. But this is a particular room, and one can't really just necessarily talk about the origins of songs in this way in every other room. So may it be that I bleed for you wasn't necessarily going to go over everywhere. Well, so I have the punani and I have the hands. Like, what else, angels, would you have me do for you? And they said, well, sing. So this song happened. They said, may it be that I sing for you. And it turned out that it was a sing-along. So, yeah, that's you. I can only do so much, you know. And so we're gonna do this sing-along. I'm gonna sing you the verse. There's just one verse, and it repeats. One song in the verse changes. I made the mistake of not front-loading the instructions at a beautiful music hall up in Vermont earlier this year, and all sorts of people were like standing up and sitting down and doing calisthenics, which weren't intended but was kind of amusing, Simon says. So I'll sing you the verse, may it be that I sing with you, and then the verb will change. It will be, may it be that I stand with you, and may it be that I walk with you, and may it be that I rise with you. So I'm gonna sing it once, and then we're gonna sing it call and response so you can kind of feel it in your bodies, and then we're gonna barrel ahead like the faithful, forceful, fun human beings that we are. Hold on. I heard some hissing, but I'm hoping that that's okay. Kind of like that, right? So, when you're singing, just to kind of prep you. May it be that I sing with you. May it be that I sing with you. May it be that I sing with you. Voice for the voiceless, voice among voices with you. Right? So like that. Okay, so we're gonna go line by line. I'll sing one, and I'll go like this to indicate that I'm singing, and then I'll go like this to indicate that we are singing. But mostly you're singing. Okay, so may it be that I'll sing with you. May it be that I 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 sing with you. Voice for the voiceless, voice for the voiceless, voice among voices, voice among voices, with you. With you. Aces. Okay. So, sing, stand, walk, rise, and then we'll just do sing one more time to like make sure that we've sung enough together. Okay. So, give you a little of this. Kind of get the rack going. May it be that I sing with you. May it be that I sing with you. May it be that I sing with you. Voice for the voiceless, voice among voices with you. May it be that I stand with you. May it be that
for Willa Mamet. Our true sexy virgin in the house. And she's so correct. It is so awesome that we will be able to return home. In whatever incarnation that is. I'm so excited to see what people are going to do. Like what is going to appear there. I think it's going to be really amazing. So, coming up next. I have so many things I could say about this woman. But I'll just say, singer, songwriter, bassist extraordinaire. And guitarist extraordinaire. Like, really, we can't even leave that out. Like, and so cute. Okay, I'm done now. No, and yeah, this woman has been, you know, in my life for a long time. Somebody said, like, how long? And I was like, at least 15 years. But I feel like it's been like my whole everything. 20. At least. She said 20, yeah, so she's right. She's correct. And if you're here in Brooklyn still, if you've traveled, but if you're here in Brooklyn or in the New York area, she's going to be performing on December 9th at Union Hall with a band called My Gay Banjo. You want to go to that. You want to go to that. But anyway, she's getting herself together over there. Oh, see, she is playing her guitar extraordinaire today. Yeah. Give your love to Ganessa James.
I just want to say thank you very much to WWTLC for doing the work that you're doing. I had the honor of going to Mishfest a handful of times. I wish I could have gone more times. I was transformed on the land. I'm a city kid, so I didn't know about that tent life. You know, but I also didn't know about the fire pits and the, people gathering together and really connecting with one another. And I never felt so inside my body as I felt in that space. So I am grateful that we will soon be returning. I picked a song tonight by Patty Griffin. It's called When It Don't Come Easy. And I picked it because it's a song about home. And as you know, this show is called All the Way Home. So we're going home.
Air
This song is a song that I wrote. It's about love, and kind of like Willa said, it kind of came. Like I almost feel like I didn't write it; it just kind of came through. So it's called "Time for Love." Thank you for being here.
You love you, I love you, I love you as you are. And I can't do without you. It's our time for love. It's our time for love.
Ganessa James! Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up! And she has a twin. There's two. The other one sings and plays too. It's insane, yeah, real. I know, I get that reaction every time. What? So happy to have that woman in my life for 20 years. Ganessa James, everybody. All right. I can't even get back into my phone. Coming to the stage. Also, I don't know, I never met Carey Callahan, who's coming to the stage. Give her some love. But Carey is a writer. She's from Cleveland, Ohio. Give it up, Cleveland. She was nominated for a Pushcart Prize in 2015, and coming soon, she's contributed to a book called Born in Your Own Body. It's coming out January 1st. So look for Carey Callahan. She's coming to give you a little bit of her writing. Look at that shot coming up. Give it up, Carey Callahan.
Of course, the day I left for Mitch Fest, I got my period. I was going because my friend Deb had organized a panel of detransitioned women, a panel I would be on because I had been detransitioned for all of 6 months. I was also going because it was the last Mitch Fest. Being detransitioned in 2015 was lonely. I had a lot of friends who refused to stop referring to me as they, despite both me asking them and the makeup I was spackling on in an attempt to detrans my appearance. I was still gender dysphoric as a motherfucker. My body still felt like a paper doll whose edges weren't cut on the correct borders. I felt like paper in general, like a breeze or a mist of water would crumple me beyond repair. My period likes to be there when my world is going to shift, so I should have anticipated she'd want to come with me to Michigan. It's about a 7-hour drive from Cleveland, where I was living with my father at the age of 33, putting my wrecked life back together. I got into the long line on a backcountry road in western Michigan around 5 p.m. I did not make it in the gate that night. I got in eventually. Ahead of me was a Jeep with 5 college-aged women in it, and late into the night, they played Beyonce, danced, ran around the Jeep, shrieked, made out, had a blast. I sat in my driver's seat in the darkness, wondering if the wetness I felt in my pants was sweat or a Diva Cup failure. I wasn't sold on any of it. I had managed to extricate myself from an intensely ideological community in which Mitch Fest was the enemy camp. I didn't want to defect to the other side. I wanted far away from the war. I fell asleep around 2 a.m. and the line started to move at 7. I needed coffee with a scary urgency. When I rolled up to the gate, a tall, tan woman with a bright smile and a crew cut held eye contact while she said, fervently, genuinely, with great love, "Welcome home, sister." I thought, oh wow, this is definitely a cult. I'm entering a week-long cult gathering. But at that moment, I just hoped the cult could score me some coffee before I threw a full Diva cup at someone. At the welcome tent, a teenager tried to orient me to how Fest worked while I begged a cup of coffee from her, clutching at it with both hands like the Allies had just liberated me. Everyone was so happy, loading their gear onto the tractor, and I felt like I was going to keel over. It was too much. The bleeding, the sleeping in my car, the joining the enemy camp, getting called sister so much. When only 6 months ago I had left my job at Lion Martin weeping for my limitations and lack of common sense, I got off at the first stop the tractor stopped at. There was a roundabout, porta potties, outdoor showers, a hill littered with tents. The sunlight was much too shiny. There was a line of naked women at the showers, and half-naked women called out to each other as they walked between the tents about gear, food, and where wives had run off to. This was about when I started to feel like I had been dosed. I've taken my fair share of hallucinogens. Wouldn't you know they were an integral part of the years leading up to my transition? And I know the feeling of the net dropping. Coincidences will start to abound. Nature will present metaphors that are on the nose and over the top. Other people will comment on the thoughts you haven't yet shared. I knew the ride had begun. Bunches of naked women, ferns, and me, a virgin, bleeding and tripping. I set up my tent, went to the porta potties, emptied the cup, got in line for the showers. I didn't know where to look. There's really no direction to land my eyes that didn't include butts, breasts, thighs, and bellies. The first time you see 20 naked women around you, not in a series of acclaimed photographs, not in a Dove commercial, your mind reels. My brain kept repeating one phrase: I don't know what women look like. I'd seen so many images of naked women, and it was clear those images were not what women look like. Women look a lot like me. My breasts hang. My nipples look like they're in a race to meet the dirt. And those are my breasts, but also breasts generally. My breasts are the rule, not the exception. Like all trippy realizations outside of the trip, it sounds like an obvious cliche, but I was stunned. I had spent the last 6 months beating myself up for all the ways I had been too stupid to see the future, to anticipate that yes, transition will be a long, hard road for a woman with a fat ass and no money. But it turned out not seeing the future wasn't my biggest problem. I wasn't even seeing the present. I was transposing the impression left by a million images, photographed and edited and curated by men, onto the clothed bodies of every woman I met, and that had coalesced into a massive delusion about how female people look. After the shower, I was exhausted but couldn't nap, so I made the trippiest choice available, and I went to a group tarot card reading. If you ever feel like you're tripping to the point of disorientation, don't go to a group tarot card reading led by actual legit witches on the last gathering of a lesbian feminist festival. The cards were on the nose, exactly, incredibly right on. And here's where I have to admit, I can't remember important details like which cards got pulled. I want to tell you all the specifics of the week, but I mostly have sense memories that I can't put into chronological order. Walking past 100 women drumming in the darkness. Lounging in the grass, talking with friends, shirtless. The woman I met who lived in a tree for a couple of years to keep it from being cut down, who said, "This is real life, and real life wants to communicate with us." crying while Farron played Snowing in Brooklyn, weeping for the person I dated while I was transitioning, who bought me shaving supplies and cheered on my first shots of tea, who I loved beyond sanity. Attending the workshop on political lesbianism and knowing that if anyone had just mentioned to me at the age of 24, hey, so this is a thing women do often, how many roads I wouldn't have gone down. The whole week I was stunned, exhausted, weepy, thrilled. Now when I remember it, it's so foggy, like my brain packed the experience in cotton to protect me from its sharp edges. I have nothing clever to say about the land and the necessity of it being available for women and girls. You women who have been there many more times than me can articulate the experience better. For me, it was like a flipped dimension I stumbled into, where female power was regarded as a good thing, where aging was a victory, not a failure, where it was safe for people to see my body, where the ability to feel deeply was a superpower, not a pathology. The night sky is a different deal on the land. There are so many stars, they swirl, something like milkiness, it turns out. My whole life I've lived under skies with very few stars, sometimes lights that you think are stars but turn out to be blinking satellites. I came back from Fest with the knowledge that the sky I live under is not the real sky. The idea I have of my body is not my real body. The idea we have of who women are is not what women are. It was nice to get a break from this dimension. And since I can't describe it well, since I can only say you had to go there yourself, since it's embodied knowledge to pass on, let's keep that gate to that other dimension open for the women of the future. Let's show them the sky. Let's show them real life. Let's show them themselves. Thank you.
Between Ganessa and Carey, I'm like back there trying not to cry. I know. Can't do it right now. I'll save it for later. So, when I came to the land, of course, you know, everybody has that shock and awe land story, right? When you walk through the door or the gate, and it's like, what? Where did I just land? But then you know, I started to learn. I started to learn, especially because I came as an artist. I first came to the land with Hanifa Walida. Give it up for Hanifa. And she brought me, and then I started to learn about all these women who were musicians, part of a whole women's music movement that I honestly did not know a thing about. Like I knew a few, of course you know Sweet Honey in the Rock, right? But that was about as deep as it went for me. So then I started, learning and meeting. It was like you're meeting, like, oh, it's Chris Mason, okay. It's like, and you just start to know. So then I started hearing like legendary tales of Linda Tillery. Legendary, like things. And then eventually one day Linda Tillery showed up on the land. And it was like, oh, snap. And they were all correct. Like, you know what I mean? Every story I heard was correct. No matter, Linda is elder and I love her dearly, but she came with like the energy, like what? Linda Tillery's in the house. You know what I'm saying? And it was really beautiful and amazing. And I'm giving much love to Linda right now. I know that she is dealing with some health challenges right now. So continue to send your love to Linda Tillery and to all the women who really paved the way so that we could be here and do this music and be ourselves and speak our truths. So I'm going to do a Linda Tillery tune. And for those of you who don't know, Linda was real funky in the best possible way. All right. giving, if you're willing, it's freedom time. Yeah. We've been given empty answers, pain and oppression grows inside like a cancer. There's no savior, all in the struggle for freedom time. Coming to the stage. Where'd it go? What happened? Because I'm excited about this. Coming to the stage is Nina J. Nina J is a poet from Chicago who uses words as tools of power, survival, and healing. She currently has a book out called Body of Rooms. She just finished filming the video version of the reading of her book to be released later this month, and she loves Shelley Nicole. Where you at? Give it up for Nina J.
How's everybody doing? It's light, dirt, and motherfucker up
clear. I come remember, I come for the knowledge, I come for the power, I come rejuvenate, I come remember, I come for the knowledge, the power, the power. As a black girl, I told myself not to trust y'all around no trees. I told myself no solidarity with white girls who I felt could never be a part of anything or any place could ever make me feel so free. I told myself a lot of things before that land got hold of me. I told myself I'm born of cities made of concrete, made of blood and broken bones. I'm born of power, made of trauma, made of love and broken homes. I'm born of shit I gotta survive, ain't got no leisure mind to roam around in fantasies not meant for me or any queen without a throne. But then I came. And my darlings, I was never the same. Because you Amazons, you wiped away some stains and you had me dropping my guards and flipping my cards before I even know your name. Because when I let myself slowly sip, your nectar intoxicated me and I lost my grip, and I loved crying in a place where colored girls caught every tear that my heart dripped, had me wide open, instantly naked because I could not help but stripped. And nudity begets nudity. Suddenly we could see each other's scars by the light of the moon as we burst from cocoons, rising and falling like shooting stars. And I need that intimacy, thirst for whatever real can be. This love we made be ours, poured in this witch's brew. Pass this cauldron from me to you, because we need to reconnect that power. I am earth, I am soil of that land, understand, and you dropped your seeds in me. So I grow, cause I know girls gon' need us for show, so they can run wild and free in me. I ain't dead, I assure, though I might seem obscure. Still need you weeding and feeding me. Lightning strikes me with force, I'm your source, love of course, and I need you to believe in me. Listen. Before you in that land, I used to roam this earth, just hoping to find something to put my hope in. I've almost crawled into strange women's beds, desperately groping for something open. I was peeled some skin from the flesh of my scar and tried to weave a rope and thought about making a noose to hang myself. I was just sick and tired of just coping. I am the tree of night stage and somebody shot holes in me. Still I stand, sometimes sway, almost crack, never break. Amazons find their homes in me. Yeah, they tried to shoot me down, shake my leaves, piss my ground, but they'll never break bones in me. Yeah, I stand in the land and the stars, yes I can. And I need you to believe in me. Yes, I need you to believe in me. Cause I can't find myself on these surfaces. I need you to dive deep with me to unwork the pain. And I don't give a damn when you get your hair done, sis. I need it deeper with that needle. If you're trying to touch my vein these days, it feels like you seem to like the very sounds that I hate, like the rattling of these chains, but we chain together in this, sis. That means we both break free or both remain, and we ain't gonna live forever. And these days, sometimes it seems you like to waste time. You like to waste your mind on bullshit. Expect me to be wasting mine, but I would rather know where your holes are. I need to hold you where you bleed. I wanna hear what you never say because you too afraid to need. I need to know where you are broken so I can be careful not to slip off your edges as I'm trying to love you, because if I lose my grip, I will fall and I will crash and you will become just something that's lost and sharp, much too sharp for me to try climbing again, and too lost to touch my heart. I am the wind giving branches that bend. I let girls burn the ferns in me. So I blow so you know you can feel, you can grow. Be the fire you tend in me. I am the wind kicking up and descend round the fire that burns for me. Round the fire, gather round, beat your drum. Make a sound, cause I know you've been yearning me. I am the tree of night stage and somebody shot holes in me.
Still I stand, sometimes sway, never crack, never break. Amazons made their homes in me. Yeah, they tried to shoot me down. They shook my leaves and pissed my ground. But they didn't break no bones in me. I still stand and I can, and the stars and the land. And I need you to believe in me. Yes, I need you to believe in me. Because though you're gone like the dawn, you left your lights in me on. And I need you to come home to me.
Yes, Amy the J. I think Enina was one of those many people I first met when I got to the land, because when I first went to the land, Hanifa was like, the first place you have to go is the women of color tent. And I just was like, okay. And I just made my way over there, and I believe that is where I met that sister. So give her a little more love. So my boss is telling me to let y'all know that the bar is still open. So get yourself a drink, you know what I'm saying? Get yourself a drink. And that there's a silent auction going on. So we're auctioning a print by Margaret Cable. And it's on the table, I guess, over there. Yes. I can't see, it's over there. So get in on that auction. Get in on that auction and get yourself a drink. It's free. Well, kind of free, because you pay, but it's free. All right, so, this next fabulous person coming to the stage, where's my notes? Okay, is Viva. Yeah, you gotta give Viva. And her project is called Viva. So know that. And she also is, you can find her on Spotify, on Viva Rock and Roll Lover on Spotify. And she wrote a rock opera, and she's gonna talk about it, called Star Lesbian Sex, The Prophecy of Thirana. You wanna know about that. Viva.
Oh, Shelley, amazing. Shelley Nicole. I got to go and play with Shelley the penultimate year of Michigan, and it was just an absolute magical experience. It was like the goddess picked me up and placed me down there with her and her fantastic band, blaKbüshe. And you'll pardon me, I've had the flu all week, so I'm kind of a wreck, but I'm really, really honored to be here. And you know the song, Sisters Are Doing It For Themselves? And you know at the end, Aretha says, thanks, I'll get it myself. And you know those things. And the first time I went to Michigan was with Paprika. Michelle Williams got us that gig. And I had planned to stay there for about a day or two, thinking, oh, it's kind of folk singing, I don't know, I'm not much of a folk singer, maybe. And I got there, and I had been playing in like different rock bands and Brazilian bands, and Sausage Fest out there in that world, just a sea of dudes, all dudes in the band, all dudes running all the technical. And when I went to Michigan for the first time and I saw women actually doing it, everything, the food, the planning, the logistics. And it wasn't like I didn't know women could do that, but I had just never seen it. And I stayed the whole week. We all changed our tickets. It was before the internet. We all went to the little place where the phones were, and we were like, hello, American Airlines, you've got to change this to Monday. And we stayed the whole time, and it was magical. And I got to go 3 times. So I'm more of a newbie than Shelley, but it was just an absolute blessing. And so I wrote a lesbian separatist opera. And I have 22 songs from it. It was hard to pick which one. There are love songs. It's about this middle-aged nature poet, lesbian poet, who, big up to the poets tonight, the poets of the poetry, I love poetry.
And it's about this middle-aged lesbian poet who's been writing nature poems. She's very famous, and she won the Pulitzer and all that. And she starts this, radical commune out in Arizona, and she's got this girlfriend Kika, who's like a celebrity chef who loves to watch these macho movies that have a lot of violence against women. And she's like, oh, Lars von Trier, he's such a genius. Quentin Tarantino, he's such a genius. They're also, David Lynch. I would say Eraserhead. I could get the same feeling walking into a badly lit drugstore as watching that movie. If you've never seen it, lucky. You're very lucky. But so she and Kika break up. And then all of a sudden, Kathy can't write any more beautiful nature poems. All she can write is castration poems. And her agent can't sell any of these. So she's down on her luck. And meanwhile, it's a science fiction, and it's very important for everyone, really, to be imagining new worlds. And I love Octavia Butler and Parable of the Sower, Toshi, and all of that. And all of those things. And so Kathy's being a mutant, like she's a superhero mutant, and she has this power where she's been under the sun so much in Arizona growing up that when she breathes on douchebag men who are harassing her, they shrivel up and they go through this tube of placenta and they land on another planet as lesbians. And then they have to be reconditioned there. But the one song I want to play for you tonight is the castration song that her agent is trying to sell to a fancy downtown New York rocker who wants to write a musical about Angela Merkel. And so she's trying to pitch Kathy as like the librettist for this. And it's a long introduction, but the song is only like 2 minutes long. And I figure also it may sort of express what some people think that lesbians think of, but what I'm trying to do is to get men and people who don't understand what it feels like to watch those movies and experience that art using a song. So here it is. Cut, cut, snip, snip, bye-bye balls. Then when you see this, you're totally horrified, and now you know what it's like for me to watch a movie made by Lars von Trier. Hack, hack, slash, slash, bye-bye balls. Then when you see this, you're totally grossed out. I can see you wince and switch up the pain, and that's the way I feel when I watch the rape in the movie Clockwork Orange, cause people said it was good. Hack, hack, slice, slice, bye-bye balls. And then when you see this, you start to hate me, and now you know what it's like when I watch a movie where they shot her. Which one does it matter? No, cut, cut, tip, tip, hack, hack, slap, slap, gap, gap, hack, hack. Now you know how it feels. I have the whole thing written in all the songs, and I'll send it to you. And you can read and listen to all the other songs. Maybe you'll be in it. You want to be in my rock opera?
I do.
Okay.
Give it up for Viva, y'all. So even though I told everybody to go get a drink, still be mindful of your level of voice as people are performing. Thank you. So, coming to the stage is Judith Casselberry. So just, you think you know Judith, but really you might not know that Judith wrote a book called The Labor of Faith, Gender and Power in the Black Apostolic Pentecostal Church. Get on that. Praise the Lord. Pick up that book. And she also is going to be at the Apollo Cafe, so December 10th. So if you're here, she's doing a panel about gospel music at the Apollo Cafe at 3 p.m. on December 10th. So go up there, get your, academia on, and know what you need to know about the Gospel Apostolic Pentecostal Praise the Lord Church. Judith Casselberry.
So I know a lot of people are at the bar and that's a good thing. But I'm going to kind of change the flavor here a little bit, and it's not because I study religion. It's because this is a song that I just always keep in my pocket. As my friend Toshi says, you always have a song. I have a song in your pocket. So I'm going to ask all you people at the bar, this may be a little bit much for me, but for you, it's fine for me, but it might be much for you. If you could kind of come into this space at the bar, come into this space. We need to do something together. Come on. Come into the bar. Come into this space. The group of women over there that are talking by the wall, over there. You need to come into this space over there at the wall, talking. Come on. I need everybody to come into this space right here. Come on. No, I really need this. I really need you to do this for me and for us. Are we here? Yes. That's good. Okay, so I first went to a festival in I don't know, I forget. It was like 1980 or something like that, and I went a lot. And it's a space that you can't describe how it shifts. It's the space itself, but it's beyond the space. It's what we come to understand as our potential. And I met my wife there. 34 years. And but I just want to say this, that this time in particular feels really horrific. And that we kind of had an apocalypse. But what, for me, we have to remember is that we always have had the tools that we need to do the work that we need to do. Yes. And so this song for me goes way, way back. And it always reminds me that we have what we need. And we've always been in situations that have felt impossible. Yes. Speak. By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we wept when we remembered Zion. By the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we wept when we remembered Zion. For the wicked carried us away, captivity required of us a song. How can we sing our holy song in a strange land? Oh, let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight. Override by the rivers of Babylon, where we sat down, and there we wept when we remembered Zion. For the wicked carried us away, Captivity required of us a song. How can we sing our holy song in a strange land? Oh, let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts, oh, let the words of our mouths and the meditation of our hearts be acceptable in thy sight, O Lord. Protect us with thy might, O Lord. Walking in the light, O Lord, with the strength to stand, O Lord, extend a loving hand, acceptable in thy sight, override. Bless you all.
Give some more love to Judith. Yeah, Judith was one of the people I learned about on the land. I mean, she was there, you know, omnipresent, but I didn't really know, you know. But I now, you know, no. So I've been told that we're live on Facebook. So hello, Facebook Live. And I hear that people are out there on Facebook Live donating. So thank you for your donations. So if you're out there in the Facebook Live world and you never got to come to the land, thank you so much for donating. And now you can come. Now you can come back. You can come home. Come see what it's all about. I think what Judith was talking about is sort of a perfect segue to the song that I'm going to do. I wrote this song called Power on the Floor. And really what that is about is kind of where we are right now. Because it kind of seems like everything is falling out from under us and we don't have anything, but we really do have everything. We have it, we had it, we never lost it. Yes. You know, and so it's that remembering that, you know, it's that remembering that you have it. You have it. Don't let this, you know, these Jedi mind tricks start to make you believe that you don't have any power. Because that's really all that it is. It's just a mind trick. So, here we go. We're gonna get up. You say life has got you down. Can't see nothing clearly, spinning round. You feel like you're going crazy by a broken matter, so you think, baby, life ain't worth a living. Too much working, no forgiving. When you recognize you're on the ground, you can get up, you can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up, you can get up. won't come back. There's an answer to this madness. There's a solution. That's a fact. Grab the hand of your sister, of your brother. Trust and know they got your back. When you recognize you're on the ground, you can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. Come on, clap. Come on, clap. Come on, Facebook, clap. Shout out, know you're tired, thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes to them? Power on the floor. Shout out, know you're tired, thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes to them? Power on the floor. Shout out, know you're tired, thinking you ain't got no more. Can you open up your eyes to them? Power on the floor. Shout out, know you're tired, thinking you ain't got no more. Open up your eyes to them. Power on the floor. Power on the floor. Power on the floor. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. Everybody out here, everybody in there in the Facebook land, I want to talk to you for a second. Because I remember that last Miss Fest very well. And it was wild, like energetically, like you find somebody like just on the ground, like in tears, and you find people just laughing, having a good time, partying, dancing, like, you know, it was like at any moment, it was like, woo, it's probably the most woo festival that I went to. But there was a lot of sadness, and a lot of not knowing, and a lot of what are we gonna do now, and what about the babies, and what about the elders, and what about where they're gonna put my ashes when I die, and what about all those things. And we felt like it was uncertain at that time, right? It was uncertain. But that's the time, right? That's the time. When you kind of like push up against the wall, that's the time, right? That's the time when you start to see what you really got, what's really in there. That's the time. That's the time when you reach down real deep and you're like, you know what? Like, I think I don't want this to go nowhere. I understand that this has to change. I understand that it can't stay the same. I understand that I gotta do something new. But I still know that this energy, this entity, these people, this heart space, this love has got to come back, and it's got to come back right here. And you know what stays in our hearts, right? Like, we're never gonna lose each other, right? Like, we're always gonna have each other's hands, right? We're always gonna be able to see each other, right? But there's something about being in that space. There's something that's transformative about that place. There's something that every one of us that's been there and every one of us that has heard about it knows that is the place that we have to keep going. And thank God for these women that came through and said, we ain't letting it go nowhere. We ain't letting it leave our hands. We ain't letting it go nowhere. And we know that we need space for these women and girls to be. We understand that there has to be a place. There has to be a space. And even though they're trying to tell us that we're no. Everybody shut this down. No. There is healing. There is healing and community with people who are like, and you, and it's necessary. And don't let nobody tell you it ain't necessary. It's necessary. It's where I became. It's where I am. It's everything. Don't let nobody tell you that you don't need your space in your place. 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 Own it. Own it. Own it. Have it. Claim it. Claim it. Claim it. Name it. Recognize it. That you can get up. Recognize it. That you can get up. Recognize it. That you can get up. Recognize it. You can get up. Get up. Get up if you're able. 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 Get up. Oh, if you recognize you're on the ground, you can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. You recognize you're on the ground. You can get up. You can get up. I'm gonna bring my brother to the stage. This man, I've been hearing so much about. He did a 24-hour show in St. Anne's Warehouse. And I want to tell a little story that I just heard on the interwebs about that show. There was a sister who went to the show, a Thai woman, went with her husband. And apparently at some point in that show, Taylor asked all the white folks to move to the back and all the colored folks to come to the front. So at that moment, this Thai woman and her white husband, her husband was like, all right, baby, we gotta go to the back. She said, oh, no, you have to go to the back. I'm going to the front. But that's a moment, right? Like, that's a real moment. I'm sure for him it was like, oh, right. Like, I'm married to a woman of color. And, you know, that's something I gotta say. And he also said to me that ever since he had heard about Women's Land, that he, you know, he was just excited to hear about Women's Land. It's almost like, you know, hearing about, where's the Wonder Woman from? Amazonia, right? Like, you know it's there. You can't go. But you know it's there. And the knowing was good enough. Like, the knowing was like, yes, there is a space and a place. And for that, yes, I love that. So bring to the stage my brother, Taylor Mack.
My friends and collaboratives, Matt Ray on the piano over here, and Viva's gonna come join us with her guitar. And thank you all for having us, and thanks Karen for asking us to be part of this. As you were saying, it's so nice to know that the land exists. If I went, I'd ruin it. So I don't want to go, but I really like knowing that it's there, and I like knowing that it has been a major inspiration to my work over many years. So it's nice to be able to give back a little bit. And you all ready? I'll sing. I'm not playing this right now. We did our penultimate decade of our 24-hour show was dedicated to songs that were popular with radical lesbians in the 1990s. So we thought we'd make the whole audience stretch towards lesbianism, because lesbians always have to stretch towards everybody else. So we said, let's make them stretch a little bit, mixed audience. And so we're gonna do this. One of the songs we do from that decade. It's also by Farron.
My mama was a waitress, my daddy a truck driver. The thing that kept their power from them held me down a while. And I remember the morning, it was the closing of my youth, when I said goodbye to no one, and in that way faced my truth. And I walk along the river, the rain a pouring down, and a girl on a road.
There's a rhythm to the highway that meets the rhythm of your soul. My shopping bag possessions scattered like my splattered tears, and a string of nights in truck stops, and in darkness and in lies, and a man they all called Tiger Boy. He just had to show me why. He just had to show me something I forever understand. As a girl on a road, rain upon the water makes footprints sunk in sand. Anger upon angry hurt, take me by the hand, take me by the heartstrings, pull me deep inside. Say I'm one with your forgiveness, and separate from my pride. I don't know what it's like for you, but here's what it's like for me. I wanted to turn beautiful and chase eternity, and never follow money or love with greasy hands, or move the earth and waters just to make them fit my plan. My eyes would be the harbor, my words the perfect place for a girl on the road.
I met you in the summer, between who did some living. I like to think that's all, but now I know that words can be like weapons, no matter that they're small. And I used 3 tiny words on you, for I beat it down the hall. Does this road go on forever? Does this terror never end? For a girl on a road.
Rain upon the water makes footprints sunk in sand. Anger upon angry hurt, take me by the hand, take me by the heartstrings, pull me deep inside, say I'm one with your forgiveness, separate from my pride. If this were a normal song, a person who is not a lesbian singer-songwriter, it'd end about right now. But I've noticed that the lesbian singer-songwriters, they like to make things go on a little bit longer than they should. And I do that as well. I learned that technique from them. Because sometimes you have to make things go on a little bit longer than they should. My friend Winter Miller, she's a lesbian playwright, she says it's because we have multiple orgasms, so our songs have to be longer. I said, yeah, it's also probably because, the record labels didn't sign people, so the lesbian singer-songwriter says, well, if I'm going to have to produce it myself, I'm going to take my time. And also, the lesbian singer-songwriters, they don't necessarily get heard on, they don't have to do a nice little radio edit, because they're usually not participating in the global capitalistic economy. So when I get a chance to say what I'm going to say, since I don't normally get to say things in the culture, I'm going to say what I need to say. So there's another verse, and chorus.
Cannot measure what it takes to mend a withered heart. They'll tell you at the onset, everybody, mazel tov. Everybody does their part, and I did my best to follow the calling of my soul. But it's like that first guitar I played. At the center was a hole, at the center is a longing I can't understand as a girl on a road.
But if music is a boulder, let me carry it a long while. Let it turn into a feather. Let it brush against my smile. Let the life be somewhat settled. With the life the song is made. Let there be nothing I'm longing for. In some plan I may have made. In some story quickly written. In a long forgotten time. By a girl on a road. In sand, anger upon angry hurt. Take me by the hand, take me by the heartstrings, pull me I'm wearing my suit drag tonight, my man drag, my relative man drag. And my grand drag mother Flawless Sabrina, she died a couple weeks ago. And she started these drag pageants in the late 1950s. And she was pretty amazing. She coined the phrase, I think, I could be wrong on this, but I'm pretty sure, long before RuPaul, she coined the phrase, it's all drag. So I'm wearing my man drag. And I'm gonna sing a song that's a little bit about hanging out with her. And a little bit, it takes a long time till we get to that part, but I figure, you know, I'm hanging out with a lesbian singer-songwriter. So. Christmas with Grandma on my mother's side. Christmas with Grandma on my mother's side. My mother carries sleeping children, that's me and my sister, puts us in the backseat of the shit to beat rabbit. We leave so early to get there oh so late, driving all the way, playing VW buggy games. I see a yellow one, 5 points. I see a green one, 10 points. Candy, apple, red, 20 points. We arrive and run to Grandma's cookie drawer, Grandma's children's game closet that smells of mothballs and neglect. But heck, we are happy anyway at Grandma's. And Grandma hit her head on a concrete floor. Now she's not the same no more. She sits around in a haze. I find her picking fuzz up off the carpet. Hey Grandma, what you doing? I'm picking fuzz up off the carpet. And an hour later I come back and she's still there, only this time in a pool of her own urine. Hey Grandma, what you doing? I'm picking fuzz up off the carpet. And Mama doesn't really like Grandma, cause when Mama was a child like me, Grandma walked in on Grandpa with his finger where it should not be in Mama. And then Grandma got mad at Mama. That's fucked up. Christmas with Grandpa on my father's side. Christmas with Grandpa on my father's side. My mother takes me there to counterbalance all the masculine influence that was lost when my father died. So Grandpa, he buys me a shotgun, even though I'm only 5 years old. And he drinks a lot, and we go out and we shoot things that scamper all about. And the women, they stay inside and they cook the meal. And the men, they talk about bowling and watch football. And Grandma on my father's side's not there because she died when my father was a child. And that's when Grandpa really hit the bottle. But he didn't want to drink alone, so he got his 13-year-old son to start drinking with him. And that's when Dad became an alcoholic. And then years later, we would crash into the oncoming traffic while driving drunk and leave my sister and my mom and I alone to have Christmas with Grandpa. This song is depressing. Christmas with step-grandma and step-grandpa. Christmas with step-grandma and step-grandpa. It's just an hour away, but always seems to take a day, cause step-dad and mom, well, they argue all the way. I'm already losing one. You should have given me a trigger warning for that. It's just an hour away. Usually I have drag on so I can point to my drag and say, trigger warning. But oh well. It's just an hour away. But always seems to take a day, cause stepdad and mom, well, they argue all the way. And step-grandma has an old blind dog that has tumors that grow on its underbelly that drag all along the floor everywhere it goes, and they leak a yellow fluid. And so step-grandma has put newspaper all along the floor throughout the entire house, but when you step on it, you know, your foot sticks to the yellow fluid newspaper thing, and then you drag the newspaper everywhere. And the dog, he jumps up in your scrap and begs for scraps of turkey dinner. Well, those Christmases, they always made me thinner. And when I am 16 years old, step-grandma and step-grandpa find out that I am a homosexual. And they're afraid I'm gonna give their real grandchildren AIDS. Even though I haven't had sex yet and I'm not a hemophiliac. But still, I am not invited to have Christmas with step-grandma and step-grandpa any longer. Yes. Christmas with the grandmas and the grandpas. Christmas with the grandmas and the grandpas. Now that I am older and I do not have to shoulder all the Christmases with grandmas and the grandpas any longer, I spend my holidays, at least the ones like today, performing in benefits and variety shows. I talk about politics while all the performing lunatics, they practice all their shtick backstage in a glitter haze. One time I was backstage at a holiday variety show, and my friend, the world famous Bob, who's a burlesque performer, she had a martini shaker between her breasts, and she was shaking it and stuff, and I said, "Hey Bob, what you doing?" And she said, "I'm making a martini with my boobs." Well, okay. And early on when I moved to New York City, when I first met Mother Flawless Sabrina, she invited me over for New York Orphan Queer Christmas. And she passed around a tray of Marinol to all the guests. And she had new fingernails on. And you knew it was Christmas when Mother Flawless had new fingernails on. Or you knew that a young boy had been fisted. I said that to a straight audience the other night. And they didn't understand it. Mother Flawless, I was having a really hard time that particular year, and she sat me down, she gave me a little tough love. She said, "Taylor, because things were happening in my career. And she said, "Taylor, you have to commit to yourself before the universe will commit to you." And then she said, "Taylor, nothing's worth doing unless it makes you nervous." She said, "Taylor, we don't care what other people think about us. We only care what we think of other people." And Taylor, if it's not glued, it's taped. I find the holidays are better now, improved somehow from all the lonely misplaced Christmases of yesteryear. Free from family obligation, subjugation, now I just hang out with all my query peers and my chosen grandmas and grandpas.
Over there, so hang out. All that. I just want to thank Karen Thompson. Can we give Karen a big round of applause? Out here doing the work of the people in a real way. You know what I'm saying? And so thank you, Karen, so much. Thank you for calling me, and thank you everybody of the WWTLC. Thank you to everybody on Facebook Live who donated, and keep donating. We still need the ducats. You know what I'm saying? As we would once say. So for those of you who have been to Fest, you know that in the beginning of the opening day, after they shoot the arrows in the air and arrows that are on fire, by the way, that hit targets that are way far away. Let's be clear, it's not just some archery, no, it's not summer camp. It's real arrows with flames shooting over women's heads and landing in places that they're supposed to land. This is real skill, people. Real skill. So, and then, of course, maybe Julie Wolfe will get on the piano and sing a sad song that'll make us all cry about people that have passed. So we're all in tears and all that kind of stuff. But then as well. Yeah. All right. So we're gonna do it. I'm not gonna say because y'all know what it is. We're just gonna do it.
Let me just say.
Yeah,
let me just say one quick thing. I always like to give honor and praise to our beautiful sister brother Maxine Feldman. Who brought us this in 1976, the same year as the festival started. And it's something that I think is really important that we honor and love our foremothers, that we don't forget their names, that we don't forget their contributions, and that we continue to pay it forward. Thank you all so much. You all are beautiful. Keep it up. We have to do what we have to do. This is not a game.
Bring it!
Amazon women. again real soon. Hang out, party. We need to clear these chairs so that there's a dance floor. So, you know, you can just move to the, the left, I guess, is your side. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Well, not good night, just good night here.
I know, right? You there that year? Let's talk about that. Yo, the arrow. Flaming. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like you said, it's really gonna happen. There's like trees back there. No. Because I would have been like. Right, like what the hell is over my ass, right? Right, look again. But I'm like, this might not be good. This might not be good. Right. Listen. What'd you say? Get out. Get out. Come on. Hey. I don't even know how to get
little bitch.